If you come home from work and your cat acknowledges you at all, you probably think that's good enough, right? They looked up. Maybe they meowed. At least they didn't ignore you completely. And honestly, cats have a reputation for being indifferent, so any acknowledgement feels like a win. But here's what most cat owners never learn. The way your cat greets you when you walk through that door isn't just polite recognition. It's a precise communication of how they've categorized you in their social hierarchy, how secure they feel in their attachment to you, and whether you're just a cohabitant or their actual favorite person. Because cats don't do casual greetings. Every behavior, every vocalization, every choice about whether to approach or stay put is deliberate and meaningful. And while your cat might tolerate other family members, feed from other hands, or accept pets from visitors, there are specific greeting behaviors they reserve exclusively for the one person they bonded with most deeply. Most owners see these behaviors every single day and have no idea they're receiving one of the highest honors a cat can bestow. Let me be clear. Not every cat expresses attachment the same way. But if your cat does even 3 or 4 of the things we're about to cover, you're not just their owner or their caretaker. You're their person. The one they chose. And what they're doing when you come home reveals exactly how they feel about that choice. Let's start with the behavior that seems the most ordinary but is actually the most telling. 1. They're already waiting at the door before you even open it. Has this ever happened to you? You pull into the driveway, walk up to your door, and before you even get your keys out, you can see your cat's silhouette in the window or hear them on the other side of the door. And the moment you open it, there they are, like they've been stationed there waiting. Here's what most people don't realize. Your cat heard your specific vehicle, recognized your particular footstep pattern, or anticipated your arrival based on the time of day. Research on feline cognitive abilities and pattern recognition shows that cats are remarkably skilled at distinguishing individual sounds and routines. They know the sound of your car versus the neighbor's. They know your footsteps versus the delivery person's. And they use this information to predict your arrival. But here's the critical part. They only position themselves at the door for arrivals they care about. A study on cat-human attachment published in Current Biology found that cats display anticipatory behavior almost exclusively for their primary attachment figures. Other people coming and going? The cat might notice, might even investigate. But standing guard at the door, waiting for the specific moment of arrival? That's reserved for someone special. Your cat could be anywhere in the house. Sleeping, eating, watching birds, grooming. But instead, they've chosen to interrupt whatever they were doing to be the first thing you see when you come home. That's not accident. That's intentional greeting behavior, and it's the feline equivalent of a dog waiting by the window all day. It just looks calmer and more dignified because, well, cat. If your cat does this consistently, they've built you into their daily routine as the most important event. Your arrival matters more than food, more than sleep, more than anything else available to them in that moment. 2. They do the tail ? Walk. You open the door, and your cat immediately approaches with their tail held perfectly vertical with a slight curve at the very tip, like a question mark. They're walking directly toward you with purpose, tail up, maybe even trotting a little. And you might think, oh, cute, their tail is up. But you have no idea what you're actually seeing. Here's what that tail position means. Research on feline communication and tail signals shows that the vertical tail with curved tip is one of the most affiliative, friendly signals in the cat behavioral repertoire. It's a greeting reserved specifically for social bonds, not just casual acquaintances. Cats use this tail position with their mothers, their bonded colony mates, and their favorite humans. But here's the distinction most owners miss. A cat might hold their tail up around someone they like. But the approach? The immediate, purposeful walk directly to you with that tail held high. That's different. That's your cat saying, I'm happy you're home. I'm approaching you with friendly intentions. I want to interact with you right now. The tail itself is a flag of trust. Cats who are uncertain keep their tails low or tucked. Cats who are neutral might have a relaxed tail. But that high, curved tail is a cat who has decided you're safe, welcome, and wanted. They're not just tolerating your arrival. They're celebrating it in the most cat way possible. And if they combine this with a little chirp or trill vocalization as they approach, that's even more significant. We'll get to vocalizations in a moment, but the tail-up approach with sound is basically your cat running the full greeting protocol reserved for VIPs only. 3. They immediately rub against your legs. And it's not just about food, alright. Let's address the big one. Your cat runs up to you when you get home and immediately starts rubbing against your legs, weaving figure eights between your ankles, pushing their face against your shins. And you're thinking, oh, they just want dinner. This isn't about me. Here's the truth, yes, your cat might want food. But the rubbing behavior is about so much more than that. When your cat rubs against you, they're doing something called bunting, and it's one of the most important social behaviors cats have. Cats have scent glands on their cheeks, chin, forehead, and the base of their tail. When they rub these areas against you, they're depositing their scent and picking up yours. In feline social dynamics, this is called scent mixing, and research on cat colony behavior shows it's reserved almost exclusively for family members and bonded individuals. Here's what your cat is actually doing. They're remarking you as theirs after you've been gone, and they're covering themselves in your scent again. It's a mutual identification ritual that says, you're part of my colony. I'm part of yours. We belong to each other. But here's how you know it's not just about food. Does your cat do this same behavior at other times during the day when food isn't involved? Do they rub against you when you're sitting on the couch, or when you wake up in the morning? If yes, then the homecoming rub isn't manipulation. It's genuine greeting behavior that happens to coincide with dinner time. And even if food is part of the motivation, the way they ask matters. A cat who's only interested in food will meow persistently and walk toward the kitchen. A cat who's greeting their favorite person will take time to rub, purr, make eye contact, and engage with you before even thinking about the food bowl. The relationship comes first. The resources come second. 4. They make a specific sound just for you. Does your cat have a particular meow, chirp, or trill that they only make when you come home? Not the demanding, feed me, meow. Not the, let me out, yell. A specific, almost conversational sound that seems to be their way of saying, oh, you're back. Here's what most cat owners don't know. Adult cats don't naturally meow at each other in the wild. Meowing is a vocalization developed specifically for human communication. But it goes deeper than that. Research on feline vocalizations has found that cats actually develop individualized vocal patterns for their specific owners. Your cat has basically created a custom greeting sound just for you, and they may use completely different sounds with other family members or not vocalize at all with strangers. A study analyzing cat vocalizations in multi-person households found that cats modified their vocal signals based on who they were addressing, using different pitch, duration, and patterns for different individuals. The greeting vocalization, especially that rolling, brrrp, trill sound, is particularly significant. Mother cats use trilling to communicate with kittens. It's an inherently affiliative, warm sound that says, I see you, I acknowledge you, I'm happy you're here. When your adult cat trills at you when you come home, they're using the vocal equivalent of a hug. And if they combine this with what's called a silent meow, where they open their mouth in a meow shape but barely any sound comes out, that's actually one of the highest compliments a cat can give. It's a soft, intimate communication attempt that some researchers believe is reserved for the absolute closest bonds. Your cat is speaking to you so softly that you have to pay attention to hear it. That's trust and affection in its purest form. If you're starting to realize your cat has been telling you you're their favorite person every single day and you never knew it, that's exactly what Whisker Wisdom is about. Hit subscribe so you decode more of what your cat is really saying in every interaction. And stay with me, because the next behaviors are even more subtle, and one of them is the ultimate sign that you're not just liked, you're loved. 5. They do the slow blink from across the room. Here's one that's easy to miss if you're rushing through the door. You come home, put down your bags, take off your shoes. And if you pause and look up, your cat is sitting across the room, watching you, and they slowly close and open their eyes. No approach. No vocalization. Just that slow, deliberate blink. We've covered slow blinking before at Whisker Wisdom, but it deserves a place here because the timing matters. Your cat could blink at you anytime. But they're choosing to do it right when you arrive, right when they first see you after being apart. That's not coincidence. The slow blink is a vulnerability signal. When a cat closes their eyes in your presence, they're briefly making themselves defenseless. Research from the University of Sussex confirmed that slow blinking is a genuine affiliative communication that indicates trust and positive emotion. But doing it as a greeting? That's your cat saying, "I'm so relieved you're home that I can let my guard down immediately." Some cats are more reserved in their greetings. They don't run to the door or rub frantically. But that slow blink from across the room is their version of, "I miss you, and I'm happy you're back." It's quiet affection for cats who express love through stillness rather than motion. If you slow blink back, you'll often see your cat's pupils dilate slightly, or they'll blink again. You've just had an entire conversation that said, "I love you. I love you too." And nobody else in the room even knew it happened. 6. They bring you a toy within minutes of your arrival. This one surprises people. You walk in the door, and within a few minutes, your cat appears with a toy in their mouth. Maybe they drop it at your feet. Maybe they just carry it near you and make noise. And you're thinking, "Oh, they want to play." And yes, they might. But what they're really doing is bringing you an offering. In cat behavior, bringing objects to someone is a complex social behavior. There are a few theories about why cats do this, but they all point to the same conclusion: it's reserved for important individuals. Your cat could play with that toy alone. They could bring it to another family member. But they brought it to you, at the specific moment of your return. Some researchers believe this is prey-presenting behavior, similar to how mother cats bring prey to their kittens. Others suggest it's an invitation to interactive play with a chosen companion. Either way, your cat is saying, "Now that you're home, this is what I want to do with you." If you engage even briefly, toss the toy, drag a string, acknowledge the offering, you're reinforcing that this is indeed a shared ritual. Your cat brought you a gift of engagement, and you accepted it. That's bonding happening in real time. 7. They follow you from room to room immediately after you arrive. You come home. You greet your cat. And then you go about your business, change clothes, use the bathroom, get a drink, and your cat is right there, following every step. Not demanding anything. Not meowing incessantly. Just accompanying you. This is called proximity-seeking behavior, and research on attachment styles in cats shows it's a hallmark of secure attachment. Your cat isn't following you because they need something specific. They're following you because they prefer being near you to being anywhere else. Think about what this means. Your cat just spent hours alone with the entire house to themselves. They could keep doing whatever they were doing before you arrived. But instead, they've chosen to shadow you from room to room, just to be in your presence. This is particularly meaningful if they maintain this following behavior for 10 to 15 minutes after you arrive, not just the immediate greeting. They're not waiting for food. They're not lobbying for anything. They've simply decided that being near you is how they want to spend this time. Some cats will even mirror your activities. You sit, they sit nearby. You move to another room, they follow and settle there too. It's parallel companionship, and it's one of the clearest indicators that you're not just tolerated. You're actively preferred. 8. They expose their belly immediately. Here's the ultimate sign, and it's the one that definitively tells you that you're their favorite person. You walk in, greet your cat, and they immediately flop over and show you their belly. Not later during cuddle time. Not when they're already relaxed. Immediately upon your arrival. The belly is the most vulnerable part of a cat's anatomy. All their vital organs are right there, unprotected. In any threatening situation, a cat protects their belly first. So when your cat rolls over and exposes it to you within moments of you arriving home, they're doing something extraordinary. They're saying, "I trust you so completely that I can be in my most defenseless position the moment I see you. Your presence doesn't make me guarded. It makes me feel safe enough to be completely vulnerable." Research on feline trust signals confirms that belly exposure is almost exclusively reserved for trusted individuals and non-threatening contexts. This isn't an invitation to rub the belly necessarily, some cats hate that, but it's absolutely a display of ultimate trust. If your cat does this as part of their homecoming greeting, you're not just their favorite person. You're their safe place in physical form. What all of this really means, so let's put this together. If your cat waits at the door, approaches with tail up, rubs against you, makes their special sound, slow blinks, brings you toys, follows you around, and shows you their belly, even just 3 or 4 of these, you've transcended the owner-pet relationship. Your family. You're the center of their social world. You're the being they've chosen above all others to bond with. And here's the beautiful part. Your cat doesn't greet the person who feeds them this way if that's not you. They don't do this for whoever happens to be home most. They do this for the person they've emotionally attached to, regardless of who provides the practical care. You can't buy this greeting with treats or food. You can't force it with attention. It develops organically when a cat decides you're trustworthy, safe, and worth loving. And every time you come home to this reception, your cat is reconfirming that choice. At Whisker Wisdom, we believe in recognizing the love languages our cats are already speaking. If your cat greets you this way and you never realized what it meant, share this with someone whose cat is telling them the same thing. Your cat has been showing you you're their favorite person every single day. Now you finally know how to recognize it. And maybe tomorrow, when you walk through that door and they're waiting with their tail up, making their special sound, you'll understand you're not just coming home to a cat. You're coming home to someone who chose you and has been celebrating that choice every day since.